Hey there, Odooers. My name is Jose Ignacio, and today we're looking at product packaging, or specifically the containers that hold multiple units of a specific product. As a refresher for you all, a unit is the individual product item. Stealthy Wool is breaking barriers in the knit fashion industry by selling knitting materials and supplies and manufacturing our own garments. In our supply chain management, this means you're buying yarn in bulk, meaning they come in packagings. In the industry, we call these skeins. Our yarn has two paths. It can either go to our manufacturing team to be made into garments, or it can be sold in our retail store to a customer. Odoo's inventory app simplifies all of this by doing all of these conversions between units and packagings for us. So enough chit chat, let's see this in action. So we're going to be working in the inventory and purchase app, so be sure to have both installed inside of your database. So let's head into our inventory application over here. So we actually want to make sure that we have the units and packagings feature enabled. So we're going to head into our configuration menu and then select settings over there. Okay, scroll down until you reach the heading that says products. Okay, we're right there. Now you see where it says units of measure and packagings. We want to make sure that that little checkbox is checked off and everything looks good. Remember to hit save in the top left. So we're looking at our packagings in our database. So let's actually click on this link to save us a little bit of time right there. So inside of here, we can see a list of all the configured units and packagings. Inside of Odoo, unit refers to each individual product item, while packagings are disposable containers that multiple items can come in. We purchase and sell various packagings of yarn, and since every company has packaging formats, we use yards as the reference unit, and you could tell that we have that over somewhere inside of here. There we go. Okay, so today we're looking at Cusco Alpaca, which happens to be its own little favorite brand of alpaca wool yarn. Each of their skeins is made of, in our case, 130 yards that we have right there. So yarn is typically measured by length. This means that each skein that we happen to have for this right there, and also like as you can tell for some of these other ones, has a specific length of yarn depending on the brand and the company. Our Stealthy Wool one for that matter is 200. Check out the tutorial link below if you want a more in-depth look at how to configure units of measure as well. So as a company that purchases raw materials for selling and manufacturing, the distinction between units and packagings is important for us in order to keep our inventory counts accurate. I can buy my yarn from a company that sells them in skeins with 200 yards each, and then sell some of them in a new skein with 150 yards. And meanwhile, Odoo does the conversions for me and keeps an accurate count of how many yards I actually have in stock. So from here, we're going to select our products menu and select products up at the top. Select that first one right there, a Cusco Alpaca wool yarn. We happen to have 900 yards of on-hand quantities according to our little smart button right there. So we also have different vendors that sell the same brand of alpaca yarn. Let's check them out by clicking into our purchase tab right away. Okay, so our current vendors are Wool the People and Lambarama. And yes, they are incredibly silly, but they have different pricing and packaging options as well. So Wool the People sells a skein for $2 over here, or they also do 10 for $1.50 each, while Lambarama sells quantities of 6 for $1.75 each. So we got in touch with a brand new vendor last week, and I need to add them right now. So we're going to select Add a Line. And you guessed it, it's going to be silly. It's Alpaca Punch. You can both create it and create an edit if you want to add stuff like an address. And if in my case, if you select create, you can also select an internal link to go edit it in case you messed up. Let's go back though. Okay, so back to Alpaca Punch. They're going to sell us their own packaging of 8 skeins for a very nice price. And that's packaging within packaging. Yarnception. Anyways, to configure that, we can either head back over to our units and packagings page in the configuration menu, or we can just click into our units column over here and start typing. So their new packaging is going to be pack of 8 dash right there. And this is going to be the same thing. It's going to be the Cusco skein. There we go. With an S. We need to create and edit this. Okay, in our configuration window for new packaging, we happen to have a quantity field that we see immediately. Now this lets us specify how many individual items are inside the packaging. We're going to type in 8 for this one, and then we have to type in a reference unit. We already happen to have made one ahead of time called Cusco Alpaca Skein. Once again, another internal link if you need to edit that as well. So don't worry about barcodes for now. We get into this in another tutorial on how to use the barcodes app and packagings for your inventory count. We're going to hit save and close right there because we are done over there. We also need to update the pricing by clicking into our unit price over here and selecting the number 8. Perfect. That's important to note that this unit price that we happen to have over here is wrong because I typed it in wrong. Small doopsie, it's actually 12. Okay, now that we're done with that, I need to mention it refers to the entire packaging, meaning we're purchasing a pack of 8 skeins of alpaca wool yarn for $12. It's called a unit price in our purchase tab because to each vendor, the packaging is the unit in their internal system, which is why our packagings are listed under the unit column that we happen to have inside of our purchase tab. So our vendors might not break down their products down to the single item level. So in our purchase orders, we want to stay consistent with the vendor's unit, which translates to the respective packagings inside of our database. Speaking of purchase orders, let's go make a new one, why don't we? Okay, so from the Purchase app dashboard, we're going to select New up at the top. And now this takes us to a brand new request for quotation. We're going to click on our vendor field right away, and it's time for us to talk about them and use them. Alpaca Punch. So inside of our Products tab, we're going to select out a product over here, and it's going to be that Cusco alpaca wool yarn. And the database pulls the pricing and unit information that we already configured. So all we have to do is add how much we're ordering. I'm going to click into the quantity column that we have right here, and I'm going to type in 100. Okay, there we go. Alpaca garments are super trendy right now, so we will definitely need it. We also want to double check over here that our unit happens to be the one that we set up earlier. And would you look at that, Odooers? It is. Perfect. Now we're just going to select confirm for our order over there. So Alpaca Punch is super fast and our delivery actually just came in immediately. Now we're going to select receive products up at the top to confirm the reception of our order. And then finally, we're going to select validate to confirm that the order is received inside of our warehouse. Now you'll probably notice inside of our quantity field, Odoo has done the conversion of 10 packs of 8 skeins to 104,000 yards, which is our unit of measure for yarn. Inside of our demand column, we'll click on our little graph icon right there, and it takes us over here. And now this is our forecasted report for our alpaca wool yarn product. On the far right over here, we have an updated count that now includes our previous amount as well as our incoming 10 packs of 8. So Odoo actually broke down our packagings into yards, and now we're free to send alpaca wool to our manufacturing team, or we can stock them as individual items in our retail store. We can even repackage them into our own Stealthy Wood skeins, which we can use as new packagings on sales orders to our customers. And there you have it, Odooers. Today we broke down packagings and learned how to streamline inventory counts inside of our database. Check out our links below to learn more about units and packagings in Odoo. I'm going to go learn how to knit a granny square. I don't know what that is, but we're going to do that. I'm going to catch you next time. Today's snack is Suspicious Crackers. Sponsor me.